Hey, gonna make a quick video here on cutting some bent channel. I'm cutting, this is the front bumper for a semi. I'm cutting some light holes and some mounting slots and stuff in it. This is the old one. But I want to make a quick video kind of showing how I set this up. I cut a lot of stuff like this. I cut a lot of stuff that's not regular sheet and plate. I've cut wheels, I've cut front bumpers, I've cut all sorts of different things other than flat sheet and plate. And something like this is something very common, something that's pretty common here in the shop for me to cut out. It is very, very useful if you can kind of get the hang of it. I've done quite a bit of things like this, so I can get it set up and cut out pretty quickly, but it does take some time. It does take some time and some practice to kind of set up stuff like this to get cut on the table, but I think it's definitely worth the time to kind of learn how to set it up. And I just want to do a quick kind of overview on how I set up a cut like this. So first thing I do is lay everything out with soapstone and physically draw everything on the part that you need to get cut. So you can see I did this for all the features that's cut on this. Basically just transferred everything off the old one onto the new one, marked it out with soapstone. Second thing I did was take all of this information and measurements and everything and drew up this part in Fusion or whatever your CAD program is. And I basically just drew it as if it were a flat plate getting cut. I did that and then did all my post-processing. There's a part right there. So it's basically just the top side. That's all I drew. So I mark it with soapstone to double check on this next step I'm doing, which is squaring this piece up to the gantry and everything. So I just did one test run and I just adjusted it, so I haven't done my second test run, so I'm going to do that now. But I'm going to start from the beginning. I basically square the piece. I always use the splash guards here as a measurement. We have 8 and 15/16 and 8 and 15/16. So I square everything off of this edge, and then what I'll do is drive the torch to XY0 of the part, or what I think is XY0. I'll zero it there, and then I'll come over to Command CNC here, and right now I just made my first adjustment, so it's back at 0, and I do disable torch, so your torch doesn't fire. Click run. Gantry will drive to its first spot. So the purpose of drawing it out with soapstone is when you do your dry runs, you can see where the torch is in relation to where it's going to cut. So we are inside of this line a tad bit, and we're also on the outside of this side a tad bit. So we're going to go back to XY0, just right there. I'll do that right now. And we're kind of just going to get an idea of how much we need to adjust before we go back. So I'm going to go back over here, stop, manual tab, move to 0. So now we need to adjust our 0. We need to go up more and to the left a little bit. So right now I have my jog speed pretty low, 28%. So we are going to move up probably 1/8 of an inch. And you can adjust this so you can get some more, or you can go to jog type and change that. I just like to leave it at continuous. So we're going to do about 1/8 inch there, and we'll do 1/8 inch on the X. We'll try that. We're gonna 0, 0. We'll go back. Always make sure your torch is disabled. We're gonna run again. So that was a pretty good adjustment. We're cutting basically right inside the line, which is what we want. So now we're going to run the program a little bit more. We're gonna wait till it goes to the next cut feature, and then we're going to watch and see how it lines up with the marks that we made on there. And if we need to, we'll go back to XY0 and readjust. So I'm gonna check this real quick. So I've ran the program a little bit more. We checked that back square cut out there. We did a couple of these slots, and now we're checking this, and I'm not quite happy with the 0 on the Y. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move back to 0. And I'm going to add a little bit more to the Y. I think I'm going to try to do 1/16. I'll try that. Again, you can move this jog type to get it more accurate. I just like to leave it on continuous. So we're going to re-zero that, and then I'm going to come back here. Again, making sure torch is off. Now I'm going to run from that line. So now I have the torch kind of zeroed where I want it. That is kind of where we ended up. Just takes a little bit of fine tuning. Now we're going to come over here. We will disable torch, and we're going to run the program. So that just got finished cutting, and you can see reference to my soapstone marks. We were pretty spot on. pretty much right on the marks of the soapstone, both sides. So slots are a little bit tricky. Sometimes what I'll do is just mark each side of the long edge of the slot, and then once it follows it around, make sure it kind of runs along those two lines. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It makes life super easy. Takes a little bit of time to set up, but you definitely couldn't do that by hand. So looks a lot nicer. Makes your life easy.